Thank you so much for joining us on this special episode of The Trading Bell. I'm Maalika, Kazia. Today, we're at the residence of Dr. Manu Chandaria. Now, he's somebody whose name is synonymous with business in Kenya, with success, with inspiration. And we want to talk to him a little bit about exactly what he thinks entrepreneurs of today need to hear. And of course, given COVID, what kind of measures do we need to be thinking of to be able to thrive even post-COVID and in this scenario? And of course, we want to find out about his journey, where he began, how he came to create this massive empire that is not just for itself, but also an enterprise that helps so many people across the country and beyond. So let's get started, but first, do take a look at his profile. Dr. Manu Chandaria is a Kenyan businessman and philanthropist who founded the Comcraft group of companies, a billion-dollar enterprise that has a presence in over 40 countries. Dr. Chandaria, who wears many hats, is also the chairman of the Chandaria Foundation, the founding chairman of the East African Business Council and the Kenya Private Sector Alliance. He is a member of the Private Sector Advisory Council and patron of the Global Peace Foundation in Kenya, as well as a member of its Global Leadership Council. He has been appointed and served on numerous government boards and committees, including chairman of the Street Families Rehabilitation Trust Fund, and he's also served on the Nairobi University Council Board for 25 years, representing Gandhi Smarak Nidhi Fund. In 2003, Dr. Chandaria was awarded the Order of the British Empire by Queen Elizabeth II. In December of the same year, he was awarded the Elder of the Burning Spear by the third Kenyan President, Mwai Kibaki. In 2015, His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta conferred on him the honor of the first-class Chief of the Order of the Burning Spear. In 2013, the Global Peace Foundation in Kenya, under his chairmanship, was nominated for the UN Person of the Year award for its role in empowering the youth through entrepreneurship and a culture of service. Dr. Chandaria was appointed the Chancellor of Technical University of Kenya in 2013, was past chairman of the Board of Trustees for United States International University USIU, and is the current Chancellor of USIU Africa. He has been awarded honorary doctorates by 6 universities: University of Nairobi, Kenyatta University, Kenya Methodist University, Technical University of Kenya, KCA University and United Graduate College. Thank you so much for having us in your home today. As we begin this conversation, I want to ask you, where did your journey begin? I mean, we've known you as this tycoon, as somebody who spanned various industries, and you've built so many companies and a whole legacy, really. So how did it all begin, and how has the journey been?
When I look the 70 years of my life in business, I find how we started, what struggles we went through, how we overcome them, how we improved ourselves, how to improve our vision of things. It's interesting to go back and see, oh my God, a graduate from a family having a master's in engineering from the United States. And what a difference. Mother illiterate. Father only 3 vernacular. And here I am. And it was a joint family, about 45 people, or 40 people maybe at that time. And when we came in 1951, fresh from the United States, with ideas and thoughts which had changed over time. I did my first degree in India.
Okay.
I did my high school in India. And when I still remember, it was 1940s. I was just coming out of the ship. Because there was a ship from Mombasa to Mumbai. And it just flashed on our mind. Hey, look at the buildings, 7, 8, 9 stories buildings. Look at the avenues. Look at the double-decker buses going around. And for the first time, seeing a tram in the center of the city, a rail is going. And we kept on asking that, what's wrong with us? We look like the same as the other people, the people over here. And why this? And that started the first impression. Hey, there's so much that we are not doing, which we need to do. And this is where we come back. And we found that it is a possibility. It's a lot of sacrifice that you got to give to get something. There is no way I could live in a different style and not being able to manage this.
So you've carried on that philosophy, and you've said
Yeah,
this
that
previously.
philosophy remained really in our head. That look, you have a reason, you have a capacity, you have a possibility. Now, it's up to you to use it. And the basis was simplicity and sacrifice. That whatever is needed has to be done.
So you've talked about the simplicity and the humility and living in a way that is not extravagant. And right now in many parts of the world, we see this adoption of minimalism, reducing the number of possessions you have, and the clutter that is physically there also serves to mentally provide clarity when it's less. So how do you arrive at that point where you say the acquiring of material things is no longer of importance? It's not something that signifies my success.
Well, let me give you some simple example. I never thought that I'll be able to stay home for 1 week without doing anything. This is now 18th week going. I haven't been out of that gate. We can all mend ourselves and create ourselves the way it is required. But we are not prepared to many a times. We want to revolt against it, and we don't want to do it. And to me, the thought of setting up something in our mind, and when I joined, it was 40 people, 6 members of the family, 1 little plant in Mombasa.
So you began with that plant.
Yeah. And when you go home, there are 35 people at home.
Yeah.
So the question was very clear in our mind that unless we grow, and we got everything that's required to grow. We have good family, we got good graduation, graduate means we got good education, we got family which supports us, we got a little unit to start with. So we got everything going for us.
And what year was this?
51.
And what did you start with manufacturing?
So for years. Yeah. And so over a period of time we agreed 40 is not going to be the number. 40 became 60, 60 became 100, 100 became 200, 200 became 300. And in 4 years' time, we were 400 people working. Now, it required a lot of sacrifice on our side. There was no Saturdays, there was no Sundays. Every day, early morning 6 and 6:30, you are at the plant. Open the gate, go inside, and start manufacturing and marketing. So it was a start, it was thinking that is it possible for us to grow?
So what happens in today's time is that young people, they want success very fast. there's this impatience that's rampant within this generation, where you don't want to have to work for so hard for too long. You want it much quicker. So what would your seasoned experience in business, of course, what would be your top 3 pieces of advice to entrepreneurs right now who are starting out and who want success?
Yeah, the point is that you cannot be a graduate without going through those steps. You go to give, you go to work. Nothing comes just automatically. Nothing comes and says, oh, it's going to happen. But then in this race, and so were we also in the race. And so we had to expand. And I said that we became about 400 people. So I think it was 1953. We told our parents, Papa, it seems that we are turning the corner. From 40 people, we are now 250 people. How about setting up a Chandaria Foundation? And he said, for what? I said, for our responsibility to the society, to do something good for others. He said, listen, there's a big hole over here. Fill it up. Then talk about Chandaria Foundation. When you don't have anything in your pocket, how the hell do you want to give it to others? That's not a possibility. Yes, it's a possibility, but not now. Come on, get to work. And we said, well, the purpose of the whole is to have a focus within our organization, within the family, that if we create wealth, then we must remember that we have responsibility, not to ourselves alone, but the society at large. So it was a wrong shot, but we continuously kept on thinking about it. And then came 1956 when we had 500 people. And my father says, okay, here is 10% of our company to Chandaria Foundation. The purpose was just purely to let everybody know, who starts the business, who are in the business, to know that besides ourselves, we have a wider responsibility. So this, we are one of the oldest foundation.
Okay.
But it was not done automatic. And why did it come to our mind? Because there was Gandhian philosophy within ourselves during our time. So we continued, because by 800 people can't be one product, so we had to keep on going and getting newer products, manufacturing newer products, getting to it. And ups and downs every day, you know. The day will be good, the day will be bad.
Yeah.
But we went through it.
Yes.
And then when Tanzania was getting independence, one of our advisors told us that, hey, if you want to survive, then you have got a good market now in Kenya, Uganda, then Tanganyika, Zanzibar, Ethiopia, Zambia. But all of these countries are going to get independent. And each one of them would want capital, not be your market.
Yeah.
So when you think about it, go and expand. So we heard that, wonderful, but you know, we were living in Mombasa and enjoyed it. Seriously, we thought about it, and then you go to the lighthouse in the evening, and just stroll over there and have a little bit of mogo. And, you know, it forgot. But then after a year, it dawned upon us that this man, who used to be the Minister of Finance here, and he became the first Minister of Finance in Tanzania, or Tanganyika at that time, had something to say. And so we decided that we will have family members moved to these 5 territories.
Okay.
And that 5 years from 61, 59 to 65 was so difficult. We were just walking on a razor's edge. You could fall here, you could fall there.
Yeah.
Two of the countries were where the language was different. Ethiopia, the language is different. The administrative, legal, everything is different. And same thing in go to Ethiopia, to go to Rwanda. Again, it was very different. We went to Burundi at that time. It was very different. So to cope up with this, mental capacity, but always idea behind it that we are not only working for ourselves, we are working for much more and for a bigger society than we had.
Over the many, many decades, of course, you've seen the business space coming back to Kenya evolve in multiple ways. What is your take on it right now and where we are?
Well, the point is that Kenya still is the leader in this area. But we got to play our cards right. And if we continuously support businesses, manufacturing, let's take an example.
Yeah.
Tourism. We're here in tourism. And where are we today? Here. It's almost dead.
Yeah.
Now, we'll have to find ways and means how to encourage this, how to get it back again onto its own feet. It'll take time. So I think that the issues are that today's entrepreneur must look what is going to go in 10 years' time, not what was yesterday. I cannot keep on crying on what I had yesterday. I have to only plan where I'm going to reach in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time. And that's the principle behind our entrepreneurs. That we've got to teach them that, hey, what you are is different. What you want to be must be high enough. And you'll not reach. You'll fall, you'll not reach, you'll fall again. But then we are capable. And there is a possibility that we can become one of the top industrial center in Eastern Africa. There's no way. But
Yeah.
there has to be a collective willingness.
So the entrepreneurs need to be forward thinking. They need to have a vision.
Absolutely. Absolutely strong vision and not looking back. Fall and get up. And unless you do that, it's not going to work out. So
yeah.
I think that there is a, and that's why the whole purpose is education. There's a change. That ideology must be changed. That, oh, enough, I've done it enough. No, there's nothing enough.
You've never made it. So given COVID-19 and, you know, like you mentioned earlier on as well, the employment scenario is deteriorating because people find themselves losing jobs very easily. Companies are not sustaining as large amounts of people anymore. So a lot of people are falling back on entrepreneurship. Do you think that the factors in place within the Kenyan infrastructure, economic infrastructure, are conducive for people to be able to succeed, fall and get up, yes, but what more needs to be done to provide an environment where they can thrive?
Well, we don't have to go very far. I remember going to Japan in 1960s. And in Japan at that time, you can hardly see a few European cars. Where is Japan? Where is Germany? Totally broken. And where are they today? Where is Britain? Where is France? Where is United States? Forget about all this, but last 30 years, where is China? Wow. They're also human beings with 2 hands, not 3 hands. The point is that determination, is it there? If it's not there, then you cannot reach anywhere. But the determination has to be there. Ideology has to be there. And a push has to be there. And push means you got to inspire yourself. Somebody can give me a lecture and I'll get inspired, but then it'll last for a few minutes. I got to make very sure that how can I inspire myself. Now look at this. This table is from Denmark. This glass is, I don't know, from India. That cover is from India. Glass might be from Indonesia or somewhere else. Except this chair was made here, locally. Wood came probably from Uganda, mahogany. Textile again came from outside. Foam at that time also came from outside. But these are almost 50-year-old now.
So instead of relying on these importation,
everything,
routes.
everything, cameras, you name it today.
So we've seen manufacturing also being a big part of the president's Big Four agenda. And, what do you say needs to be done to promote that even further? So even like you're mentioning, these things we import a lot. What else can we do to ensure that Kenyans are being able to manufacture all that?
Do it in Kenya. If you can't get this one, take a piece of paper and cover this. But make sure that you make this in 6 months' time. Give the targets to every industries, whether it's food industry, whether it's metal industries, whether it is textile industries, we had 11 textile plants here. Mm-hmm. We killed all of them. So the point is that who wants to get these things done? Unless we put these younger people to drive what we want to become. We can just talk about it, doesn't work. There has to be I must have an inspiration. I must have a vision. I must have a commitment. If I don't have that, then it's not a possibility.
So the overriding message is to have that drive, to keep on pushing and to have that vision as well. So thank you for sharing those gems with us. But even as we get towards the tail end of our conversation, a little bit of, on a lighter note, of course, you're 91 now. And last year we saw that you officially tied the knot with your wife, Aruna. And you've been together 64 plus years now.
65 years.
65 now, this year, yes. And you, of course, had your wedding in Mombasa, which was under the Hindu customary law. And then you had to do the official registration, which you did last year. How was that experience for you? And, a lot of people would say that, yes, you can be successful in business and in your career, but your personal life also needs to be given attention. And I'm sure, and you're somebody who's sustained a marriage for over 6 decades. What would you tell people out there who are saying that they can't balance, career and relationships, and it's tricky now? And how do you manage that?
Well, the point is that the art of becoming something, the art of maintaining something, it's an art. But an art can be taught. Art is it's not something which just falls down from a tree. It has been cultivated. And when we went to that registration, because they wanted now somewhere, you must have a registration certificate that you're married.
Yes.
I said, well, we're married for 65 years, now you're telling us. So I said, okay, go ahead. And so I went to the registrar's office, did it. And the minute he said, you are now, I declare you as man and wife.
Yes.
And married. And I didn't take 1 second. I just kissed my wife. First time in the public.
Yes, first time. The photos are, going to be there for forever.
Yeah, because the newspapers were there.
Yes.
They knew that these people is going to go. And then the registrar asked, and my daughter was there. He said, thank goodness, we are now legal.
65 years later.
The point is that every stride that comes in your life, you must take it. Take it as a challenge, rather than as a bother, rather than this. I can work it out as much as 10 years, 8 years back, I didn't even know what to do with it, a computer. Now, what stops me to do it? Oh, I can't do it. That stops me to do it.
It's a mindset.
Mindset. And so, what we want our younger people and the entrepreneurs, please, and the government, make it red carpet for them. It was not born yesterday. This will not happen tomorrow. This will not happen, this glass will not happen tomorrow. It will require somebody who put his mind, his capital, give his time, and he will be able to blow the glass. It's nothing can, if we're going to use it today, it can be done. But the only difference is somebody else is doing it, not we. So we want not only of Kenyan youth, but all the youth in this region. We must do it. And that noise must go right up to the top. We want to do it. We must do it. And we will be able to do it. It's nothing so important over there. I remember in China, there was hardly a few buildings. Now you get skyscrapers, 80 stories, 70 stories, 90 stories. Good Lord, when I went to America, the time was different. I used to get up and, we were staying in about a 46th floor of a hotel. And I couldn't believe myself. I just come from India, 7, 8 story, 9 story maximum building. And here we go, 60 stories building, 70 stories building. How come? They're human beings. And that we want to pass on. That nothing comes automatic. You got to work for it. And human mind and human hands and intellect can certainly find solutions.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, for giving us so much inspiration and knowledge as well. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being with us.
Definitely.
And allowing me to go back into my life.
Well, there you go. We got a lot of insights from Dr. Manu Chandaria, and of course, so many gems of information, knowledge, and insight. And that was this special episode of The Trading Bell. Thank you so much for watching. And hey, do keep up with us via our social media handles. They're appearing right there on your screen. And I'll see you next time. I'm Maalika, Kazia. Do stay tuned.